Hey guys, it's Milo back with another video, and today I'm going to show you guys how to build a house in Minecraft with simple steps. It's going to be a similar design to this mansion that I've built, but it's going to be significantly smaller because it's going to take a very long time to build something this large in Minecraft. And if you guys enjoy this video, then please feel free to like and subscribe, and let's get straight into the video. Step 1 is to figure out where you're going to build your house, and then you want to figure out what blocks you're going to use. Figuring out where you're going to build your house is the easy step because you can make a house pretty much anywhere in Minecraft. But the most important part is to choose blocks that complement each other. So the most basic block types are stones and woods. So oak planks will definitely look good with spruce, and cobblestone will look good with andesite, smooth stone, and regular stone. But you also usually want to add a splash of color to your build, so I like to use stained glass, and I also like to use different types of terracotta. And using different stone and wood types is very important because variation is key to building a nice Minecraft house. I have just went through all of my shulker boxes and I determined what blocks I'm going to use. I'm going to make a foundation out of cobblestones, and then I'm going to make it wooden, and then the roof is going to have a cobblestone frame, and then it's going to be wood once again. So these are the two shulker boxes that I have chosen, and now I'm just going to pick those up and I'm going to look for a spot. So now I have figured out the location of where I'm going to build the house. So when you figure out where you want to build it, you just want to clear out an area to the right size, and I'm just going to burn these trees down because I don't really need them. And I don't need the wood. I'm going to fill in these creeper holes just because I want the environment to look really nice, and then I'm going to start building out the floor. Along with this step, you want to place down all of your chests where you'll be keeping your materials, and I definitely recommend placing down a bed and setting your spawn so that if you do die, you'll be right back at this location. It's now time to make your floor, and when you make the floor, you want to make it the specific shape of your house. Over here you guys can see that I've made my mansion floor, and it's out of a bunch of different rectangles and shapes and colors. And that really just helps me visualize what my house is going to look like and what the shape is going to be. And I decided that I'm going to dig out the ground for the floor, and then I'm going to make the house an L shape. It doesn't need to look too far from a square, but as long as it's not a square or a basic rectangle, you'll probably be fine. And there's also exceptions too. Like if you want to make a log cabin, then it would make sense if you made it a square house. I have the basic L shape done, and now I'm just going to fill in the floors with the color. And you can also see that over here I have these different blocks over this way, and that is so I can decide where I'm going to put walls. I'm just going to make the floor out of basic cobblestone, and then I'm going to throw in a few blocks like mossy cobblestone, gravel, and andesite because they're all gray blocks and it gives it a bit of variation. Usually when building Minecraft, you really want to focus on depth and variation because this game is pretty much only built out of blocks, and if you do flat surfaces, then it's going to look really dull. You can see here that I have the framing done, and then over up top, I have the roof go 2 blocks out, and over here I have the roof go 1 block out. So that is variation. And then the depth, the window goes inwards, the frame is this way, we have the ladders and all that stuff. That's basically just a rule that you want to stick to when you're building Minecraft houses, and most of your houses will turn out pretty nice. After a while, you will get very good at building houses, and you'll be able to tell what your house needs in order to look better. I've now bordered the floor with a rim that's 1 block out. That's going to help me visualize, like I've said, and then I'm just going to add the wall right here, and I'm going to break that in 2 blocks because that's going to be the entrance. And now I'm going to break random holes in the ground, and I'm going to fill it with mossy cobblestone, and I'm going to fill it with andesite and gravel. So let's just grab that real quick. You can see now there's slight variation to the ground, and it makes it look less like a flat surface and more like it actually has some detail and life to it. You may not want to use the mossy cobblestone if you want to give your house a modern look, but if you're doing an old rustic house kind of build, then the mossy cobblestone will look good to show that it's an old build. We've now filled in the floor and we figured out what the walls are going to look like. So we're going to start framing it with wood. We're going to place wood in each corner of the builds 1 block out. And I do this with all of my builds, like over there. You can see I have a frame on everything. The frame doesn't need to be just made out of wood, but in my opinion, wood looks the best out of any other block. This is actually a new technique that I learned from Grian, but it's really awesome. So if you want to have a second floor, you actually build up your frame to that point, and then you start building horizontally. So I'll just make my first floor that big, and then I'm going to start bringing the frame around, and we're just going to connect it to each point, and that's going to plan out where the first floor will be. And then we can build it up more for a second floor, and we can also incorporate balconies like you can see over there. I've now traced out the frame, and without the walls here you can actually see what the shape and the size of this building is going to be, and that's exactly why I like to do this. And over here I'm going to add a balcony because balconies just look really cool. Just let me kill this skeleton real quick. To plan out the balcony, I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to continue the frame, but instead of building outwards, I'm actually going to go through this chunk, and that will show me that this piece of the building is going to be separate than this piece. And I can make a tower here, I can make a balcony, I can do whatever I want, but for this build, a balcony would probably be best. Over there, I made a tower. You can't really see it from this angle, but I did go up in one spot. I'm done framing because I don't want to add another level to this building. Now I'm pretty much just going to fill in the walls, and then once I'm done filling in the walls, we can go back and add detail. But I usually like to build the house first and then add the detail later. I decided that if the entire wall was stone, that would look really bland. So I'm going to add some oak right here where the balcony goes up, and that will break up the colors. And because I added the 2 separate walls, you can see there's a line right here between stone and oak, and that looks absolutely terrible. And to fix that, all you have to do is add some more framing, and that completely gets rid of the problem. I have the first floor's floor done, so now I'm doing the second floor's floor. I think I said that right. And after that, we just add the roof. And this is actually coming together pretty well. Everything from now has been pretty easy and not technical at all, but right now we're getting into the tricky stuff, and that's building the roof. Just watch carefully what I do. The first thing you want to do is start adding a trim around the roof. So I'm going to follow the frame like this, and then in the front facing side where we want the roof to have like the A-frame, like the arch, we want to go out by 1 block, and then we place a staircase upside down, and then we place another staircase on top of that. That would be an A-frame design, but right now I'm going to do a barn shape roof. So I'm going to place a staircase, then place a staircase upside down, then place a block, then place another staircase, then place a staircase upside down, a block, a staircase, and so on. Once you get the idea down, it's just the pattern that you have to do, and knowing the pattern is really simple. I did the same roof shape over there, and it looks pretty nice in my opinion. And of course you want the roof to overhang so that there's dimensions to this roof and it's just not one big square. And to make sure that I don't go too far up on one side, I'm going to mirror the design on the other side every few blocks that I place. And once I get to the top, you just want to go back and forth until both ends meet. Right now the 2 ends are about to meet, so I'm just going to jump back and forth until they actually connect. And boom, they connect right there. Oh, crap. The roof angle is a bit exaggerated, but I just realized I made a pretty stupid mistake. This was supposed to be the balcony, so I was supposed to start the roof on this side and on this corner. So now I just have to break all of this and start over again. And guys, I am guessing that if you start building this and you are a beginner, You will have a lot of issues and it might take you a while to build this house, but practice makes perfect, and after a few houses that you guys build, it will get a lot easier and simpler. I'm fixing my mistake right now and I'm starting the roof right there, and there will be a bit of extra roof on this side just because I didn't break that, but I'm going to break it afterwards so I don't have to end up breaking extra. There we go, the roof is now the right dimension, so now I'm just going to fill in the trim around the edge, and then I'm going to mirror the same thing on that side to this side. I have now mirrored the arch on this side and this side, so now I'm going to choose a separate block to fill this in, and I'm going to choose dark oak. So basically, the oak is going to be the trim, which is going to be on the outsides, and then we're going to fill it with dark oak, and it's going to look very nice. And I did make one mistake where, as you can see at the top, that's flat, and over here it's a bit more pointed. And as I fill it in, I will find the mistake I made, and I'll just fix that as I go. So I realized that these two sides are uneven because they're one block off, and that's not really too much of a big deal. I just kind of put one block behind the other right here. It's not really gonna make it look ugly, so I'm just gonna forget about it and not do anything. So I filled in the roof, and this is what the mistake looks like. There is a bit of a hard angle, but because I curved the stairs, it doesn't look that bad. And over here on this side, this is what the roof looks like. It's pretty mediocre. I wouldn't say it's great. It is just a regular barn shape. And now I'm just going to cover the top gap with slabs so that there isn't any open air or anything like that. And this will be a balcony too, so I might as well just break a hole for a door right now and start filling this with wool. And when we fill this with wool, we're just going to be filling right behind the trim. Okay, in my opinion, that does look pretty good. We have the shape of the house done, and we basically have the roof done, we have the walls and the floors and everything done. So now we're in the attic, and I'm just going to go from the top down. We're going to place upside down stairs on the parts where there's blocks, like you can see here. This is the before, and this is the after. It just looks a lot smoother and nicer, so I'm going to do it to this side too. And there we go, we have framed the inside of the roof. And now it's time to add the staircase in the inside. Because I don't have that much room here, I'm going to have it kind of spiraling. We're going to do that, and then we're going to have it go off in that direction. And there we go, we have our staircase, but the underside of this looks really brittle and bad. So we're just going to add upside down staircases right over here, and that looks significantly better. I should add an upside down one right here too though, because we're going to have to fill it in all the way. And there is our staircase. I have one last step to throw this all together, and that's to use spruce trapdoors on the sides of it. And I have the spruce trapdoors, so we're just going to place them on the bottom stair and the top stair. That's going to kind of be like a railing or a frame. I'm not really sure, but I do know that it looks pretty good. I just finished building the house, and I did it off camera just because it was taking too long. But right now, I'm going to go over everything that I did in order and show you guys why you need to do it, and I'll give you guys some information. This is what the house looks like. As you can see, it looks a lot better than before, and it has a lot of detail all over the place. And the first thing that I did after the staircase is add windows. So I did add some more framing to the house to break it up into sections. So the front wall was too big, so I added framing, and then I added windows, and there's windows all around. And then I also added framing in the inside. You basically frame the inside the same way you frame the outside by adding framing in each corner, and then you do horizontal framing on the ceiling. And then wherever you see fit, you just add more framing. You know, you can't really go wrong with framing, honestly. Then I added a brick trim around the bottom of the place. I added trap doors as frames. That really looks nice. And I added flower beds on the outside with dirt, flowers, and then some more trap doors. And over here you can see I added iron rods with lanterns hanging on it. And a great detailing block is slabs, stairs, and walls and fences. Here I use stairs, and this is a nice little garden that I have. And the way that I got this fence design was by adding a wall and then 3 gates. And when you do 3, the middle one actually goes above the other 2, and I do really like that design. Over here I added a lot more framing than usual. I added upside down stairs. That looks really nice and it ties it together. And I actually didn't really use fencing for detailing on the walls. Over at this house you can see I used fencing all over the place. But for here I actually used just the iron bars. And if we go through the front door, you can see we have all sorts of blocks inside for detailing. We have enchantment tables and bookshelves and furnaces. And here's the bed. I added more trapdoors because you can't really go wrong with trapdoors. I added a flower bed in the inside just to add a little bit of color. I have carpets, and carpets really help a lot because it adds in color and it makes the floor look a bit different and less bland. I have armor stands as detail, and I have chests with trapdoors, and there's more windows. And you can do windows rectangular, squared, and also I do like to have it with a rectangle and then like 2 blocks up or slowly going up like a triangle. And then paintings are really nice to add in more color. And in the windows you can add different patterns with the stained glass. And let's go upstairs. And right here is where I have a lot of storage. So, there's storage for days. That will take a while to fill up. I have more barrels because this is an attic and I want it to look like this is where I store stuff. I have a little workbench with an anvil and everything. I have a flower on top of a table. And then we go out this door, and this is the balcony. And I actually really do recommend doing this fencing design because it looks really nice. You add some kind of log, then trap doors or pressure plates on top, and you can add any type of fence or iron bar around it. And I just love this so much. I have a checkered carpet, and for the door I add logs as the frame. And the roof, I didn't really do much else with that. And you can see that I added more variation into the wall. My main go-to is just cobblestone, gravel, and andesite. That's really all you need to do. Before I added this detail, the house did not look nice at all. It just looked so bland and basic. But if you really just get over that hump and add all this detail, then it just ties it together so well. And that's all I have for this video. If you guys enjoyed watching me build this house, and if you learned something, then please feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And thank you guys for watching, and peace out. Bye guys.